Today, we're going to talk about a topic that is becoming increasingly important for defense groups: eligibility for EU defense funding. Björn, what is the new risk for international defense groups seeking to obtain EU defense funding?
So there's defense groups who frequently walk into a situation where a call opens, a call for funding, and they apply to that call and they realize that the eligibility criteria are not fulfilled. So you can have, for instance, a US company that is on the cap table, you can have IP rights which are held in the wrong place, you can have a supply agreement which gives a third country a say, and all these things can make funding out of reach. So once the call is open and once you are applying for this funding, it could become problematic and you could become ineligible by a situation which was created prior to the call being opened. So you need to look at these things in advance before applying for these fundings.
One of the key issues is then ownership and control. What should companies be paying attention to?
So if we take the example of the European Defence Fund, a defence company controlled by a non-associated third country, take US, UK, Japan for instance, could be ineligible for funding, unless there are certain guarantees which are approved by member states. So that controlling can sit quite far up the ownership structure, and it's not whether the European arm of the group does the work, it's whether there is some kind of control of a non-associated third country on that European arm, on the product for which funding is applied.
Beyond ownership structures, where does ITAR come into the picture?
So ITAR is a different kind of control. It's a US export control measure which applies to certain components. If those components are integrated into European products, those products could become ineligible for funding. So we come back to that question of whether the eligibility criteria are fulfilled, and if ITAR components are included in products for which we're applying for funding, we need to take into account that potentially those products will not be eligible for funding.
If a group identifies these issues, what can actually be done to fall within the eligibility criteria?
So none of these issues have a single fix. What can be done is to bring a group closer to these eligibility criteria in advance. Think control restructuring, think bringing IP into the EU, and jurisdiction is part of that design. And Luxembourg is a natural place to do that, to place a holding, to host IP rights, and to bring everything closer to these eligibility criteria.
How can we help companies to assess their position before committing to a bid?
Well, before bidding, we can help test your group against the eligibility criteria. And what we can do is work together well in advance to identify the risks of ineligibility for funding and potentially propose certain solutions which could help mitigate that risk, so that in the future, if ever a call for funding pops up, whether it's in a member state or an EU call for funding, we can anticipate any issues that may arise.
Thank you very much for your insights, Björn.
Thank you very much, Deborah.